It looks petty. It looks like you're being a sore loser. It looks like you are making excuses.
Imagine being the most talked about rookie in WNBA history, bringing millions of new fans to the game, only to have referees allow opponents to rough you up game after game. That's exactly what happened to Caitlin Clark in her rookie season, and the footage proves it. From Jackie Young smacking her in the face and only getting a common foul to Alyssa Thomas bulldozing her with a shoulder check that somehow wasn't called a flagrant, the pattern is clear. We've put together every major missed call against Clark this season, and once you see them all, you'll understand why fans are outraged.
Team, it's just weird, and it's so interesting to me how still Caitlin Clark is getting under everyone's skin. Like, she so easily can get under the skin of other players.
Did you see what happened to Caitlin Clark in the playoffs? Dejonae Carrington blatantly poked her in the eye, and the refs just stood there and watched. It wasn't just a bad call. It was the perfect example of how officials have treated the WNBA's biggest new star all season long.
Coaches, it feels like a lot of these players and teams just hate the Indiana Fever, and I mean, I get it. This team was one of the worst teams in the league, and they are now climbing the ranks.
Picture this: September 22nd, playoff intensity in the air. It's the Indiana Fever versus the Connecticut Sun, with the basketball world watching as the rookie who revolutionized women's basketball steps onto the biggest stage of her young career. Then, with 5:48 left in the second quarter, everything changes.
Harassed by Carrington, finds Boston after taking a shot following the pass to Boston.
Carrington lunges for the ball, but instead of a clean defensive play, her fingers go straight into Clark's eye. The impact is instant. Clark recoils, clearly dazed, her hand instinctively reaching for her face. You can see the pain written all over her expression. And what happens next is absolutely shocking.
Clark in pain after she caught that fingertip in the eye, or no whistle.
The crowd waits for the whistle and waits and waits. But nothing. The refs stay silent, letting play continue as if nothing happened. Meanwhile, Clark blinks through the pain, trying to refocus on the game. Even the broadcast team couldn't hide their shock. Clark, harassed by Carrington, finds Boston. Clark gets hit in the face by Carrington and is down. They exclaimed, their voices rising in disbelief that no foul was called.
Open the eye, and one of the areas that Indiana has first game of the season here in this building, Ryan, is when that blitz comes to Caitlin Clark, how she is able to deliver the basketball to Aaliyah Ball.
What makes this moment so revealing isn't just the missed call, it's what happened afterward. Clark didn't make a scene. She didn't throw her hands up or yell at the officials. She just took the hit, a bruise already forming around her eye, and kept playing. The physical impact was clear in her performance. She finished the first half shooting a miserable 1 for 9, her rhythm completely thrown off by the uncalled foul.
Because even though everybody wants to show out and support Caitlin Clark, I told you earlier, I think a lot of people are getting real close to turning the TV back off because the WNBA does not want to step up and take responsibility for this.
Meanwhile, fans weren't nearly as quiet. Social media exploded with outrage, calling it the worst officiated basketball game of all time and an absolute embarrassment to the league. The clips went viral within minutes, with viewers from all corners of the sports world in disbelief over what they had just witnessed.
It is good. Kennedy Carter now, from Boston, as the officials are going to, and Clark.
But here's what's truly frustrating. This wasn't just a one-time incident. The eye poke was the culmination of an entire season where Clark was physically targeted without any protection from the officials. Game after game, she endured hard fouls, body checks, and aggressive defense that crossed the line from competitive to outright dangerous.
She may be thinking, look, if they're not going to call these flagrant fouls and they're going to let everybody in the league beat the crap out of me, I better do something to put on some mass to protect myself.
Exactly. This goes beyond the typical challenges rookies face. It feels personal, deliberate. Yet, Clark refuses to let it break her. She doesn't whine about missed calls or shift blame. Instead, she takes the hits, pushes through the adversity, and keeps showing up, proving her resilience with every game.
So the first one here is when Caitlin Clark got a technical for slapping the padding that is on the hoop.
If you thought the eye poke with no call was bad, wait until you see the absurd double standard that's been happening all season. In one game, Clark got a technical for barely touching the backboard after missing a shot. Just minutes later, a veteran player physically shoved her from behind during a timeout, and the refs acted like it never happened.
With her, preventing her from getting those touches.
And Caitlin Clark gets hit with a tech. She was jawing for a while after that foul call on Aaliyah, but this one I think is about her frustration with...
The August 18th game against the Seattle Storm perfectly highlighted just how ridiculous the officiating has become. Clark missed a three-pointer and, out of frustration with herself, lightly tapped the padding on the basket. What happened next? The referee immediately blew the whistle and hit her with a technical foul. Even the commentator couldn't hide their confusion, simply stating, *, and Caitlin Clark gets hit with a technical. *.